y'all, this is May and welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build. So today I'm building 3 houses on one lot with a community space in the world of Ciudad Enamorada, the world coming with The Sims 4 Lovestruck expansion pack. I was so lucky to get early access to Lovestruck thanks to the EA Creator Network, so thank you for inviting me to this early access opportunity. So that's also why you will be seeing my username flying around on the screen, and hopefully that's not too distracting for you all. Anyhow, I'm really excited to be showing you one more of my builds I did during this period. I uploaded a penthouse just a few days ago, so if you want to check that one out as well, please feel free to do so after this video. I also talked a lot about features that are coming with this pack in that speed build, and I'll probably repeat some of that for this voiceover too. And also just a little disclaimer that the version I built this with is not the final version. And for this build and the previous one, I was only able to build with base game and the new Lovestruck pack. Also, no Reshade, unfortunately. But for some reason, it wasn't that bad for me not to use Reshade this time around, because sometimes I actually do turn off my Reshade when building these days, and especially now during the summer when it's been really hot and playing Sims with the majority of the packs just makes any PC go wild, I feel like. And even worse with Reshade on, but yeah, I managed this time too, luckily, without it. So the idea of having 3 smaller houses on this one lot that's already kind of small came from the fact that the gallery thumbnail of this is from the side and not from the front of the lot, because why not, Sims? Why not? It kind of annoys me when they do that, so I thought, well, how can I make the gallery thumbnail look interesting from the side, like not just have the side of the build showing? And I had been scrolling through Pinterest for a bit for these small, more like concrete looking houses, looking for some Mexican houses, and then I thought, why don't I create a small side road? So I started off by doing that, as you saw in the beginning of the video. And then I can do 2 houses facing the front of the lot and then 1 facing the side road. And in between there, again, I found the idea of having a small playground, or rather a community space, fun. So we did start out with me just using the new swing set for that area, which I love. It's more like city-like in a way, the swing set, if that makes sense, and especially in comparison to the ones we already have in the game. So I just had to use that one, and I did ponder if I should give all the houses backyards, but again, I didn't have a lot of space to work with here. So I scrapped the backyard for the beige peachy house on the right-hand side, and instead I expanded the space for the community space. So instead of just having the swing set, I was able to include a grill, and this one is from base game that came in an update a long time ago by now, and it fits the vibes of Ciudad Enamorada really well. We also got a bench so people can sit and chill meanwhile their kids are playing around, or they can sit there and eat, of course. And this bench is also brand new. It has a lot of colorful options though, which is always not my favorite thing. I'm more of a neutral color person, but I actually used the brown and green one here, I do believe. And I did fence in that area, and seeing as the fence was so tall, I actually managed to use one of the new wall decals or graffiti decals. I can't remember what exactly it is, but I was able to put it in a way that makes it look like it's actually on the fence. And I think that's like a fun detail, and it brightens up the otherwise beige white stone fence a bit. I also just had to dig through the live edit and debug category. I usually access that through the Better Build by Mod by TwistedMexi, but seeing as this was the early access version, we're of course not allowed to use any mods, so I had to put in the fancy cheats to access those extra objects that always come in handy in my opinion. And I love using live edit objects, and very often, if not always, they cost 0 simoleons. So that's also very great for a starter home or more of like a lower budget build. But yeah, I found one of these like market stalls with a grill on it. I don't think it's actually functional, but I put it by the entry of the community space. So maybe someone is running like a little business there too, which I love the idea of. And yeah, just an overall like small family-friendly neighborhood is what I had in mind for this build. So for the first house I built on this lot, it's going to have 2 bedrooms, one main bedroom and then a small nursery meant for an infant. Initially I start off with lots of wood flooring, then later on I realize I see a lot of tiles for these types of houses, like Mediterranean houses for example. So I do change that out later, and I use the new tiles coming with the pack. There's one with a pattern and one without it. I do quite like those. They're very versatile in that sense. They also have matching wall tiles as well. I can't remember if I switched out the carpet I used in the nursery in this house, but there is an animal print carpet in both neutral colors and more colorful swatches. This one also has a matching wallpaper, and I do believe I used that one in the penthouse build I mentioned earlier. That's also up on my channel. So it's just like a fun touch to a room, you know, and there are a lot of fancy items coming with this pack though, like fancy or bougie, which I think is cool, and they could definitely match with a few other packs that we already have. And also in this pack, we do see the return of some more classic Sims items. We do get the heart-shaped bed, and a lot of us were speculating when the Basement Treasures kit came out if we were going to get the heart-shaped bed, because in that kit there is actually this decoration item. It's like the headboard of the heart-shaped bed, I do believe. So I'm glad to see the return of it, and it fits really well with the entire theme of Lovestruck because, well, it focuses on love and different types of romantic relationships. It's definitely the most mature Sims 4 pack, if I can say that, because I feel like The Sims 4 has had a reputation of being very family friendly, especially in comparison to the previous installments, and I'm liking the direction we're going now, like going a bit back to its roots. And this appeals more to the longtime fans of the game as well, like myself. I've been playing Sims for almost my entire life. I started playing Sims 1 when I was really young, actually, because I have older siblings and they played it. And ever since, I was just obsessed with Sims. And I also remember we had this computer room and we had to switch between the 3 of us who got to use the PC and who got to play. So it makes me a bit sentimental to talk about that because I'll actually be moving in 2 weeks, and this is my first time moving, so it's mostly exciting, but it is kind of sad too in a way to like leave everything behind. But it's definitely a new chapter in my life for certain, so yeah, just wanted to mention that as well, and hopefully it won't halt my video making too much. I might just need to take like a few days off from streaming at least and get everything sorted. So I do stream over on Twitch weekly. My current schedule is 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. CET. And I know that's very early for our American friends, but surprisingly, according to my analytics, majority of my viewers are from the US. So just a little fun fact there. But yeah, if you ever want to come join some building, gameplay or cast in real time, definitely consider going over to twitch.tv/Honeymaysims and leave a follow to get notified of my next stream. And maybe I'll see you there sometime. And yeah, I got a bit carried away there because we were talking about the classic items coming back and I only mentioned the heart-shaped bed. But another item that we've seen before is actually the lips-shaped couch. So this one is from Sims 2, if I remember correctly. They had a very similar couch there. And I think I was initially going to use it in one of the houses here, but I changed my mind and I changed it out with something else in the end. But I'll probably use it elsewhere sometime. Same with the heart bed. I didn't use it in any of my 2 builds so far, but I just get the feeling that someone is for sure going to make a woohoo hotel kind of a lot or something. I just know it. I feel it. Someone is going to do that. I actually had the idea myself, like, should I do that? But I have kind of like pushed it aside for now, at least. But that reminds me that we actually have a rabbit hole area in Ciudad Enamorada functioning as a woohoo hotel now. I actually think it's just across from this lot I'm building on. So you can either decide if you want to just rent a room for the night to sleep there, or you can rent a room to do some woohooing. And I never imagined the Sims team would make something like that. And again, a bit more of like a mature vibe, you know? The second house I work on, the yellow one, it has a backyard. There's a stunning new palm tree in Live Edit that I place back there, and I add in a sun lounger and the new functional blanket that you can use for cloud or stargazing. You can cuddle on it, but you can also use it to woohoo on it or in it. I don't know. So that's an option as well. And luckily the backyard is fenced in, so you do get some privacy. And I was also like dabbling with the idea of having a pool back there as well, but I felt like it was a bit too much, so I just discarded that idea. As for the inside of the house, it has 2 bedrooms. This house is a bit more modern than the 2 others, so I used some of the more like fancy looking items here and there, and since there was some extra space in the entryway, I decided to use that space for a study or office area. I could have easily used the second smaller bedroom for an office, to be honest, but I really wanted some rooms for kids on this lot to kind of go with the playground community space ID. So I did a bedroom instead and just put a desk and a computer in the entryway. The desk that I use is actually new. It has like some rounded corners and everything, and it fits perfectly with the nightstands I use in that house as well. They probably come in a set. And another interesting item that comes with this pack is the suitcase wardrobe item that lets you dress up in different costumes. And if you've seen the trailer for Lovestruck, you know what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of new costumes coming with this pack, which you can find in Criticism as well. So there's just like a few examples. There is a maid costume. There's even like an eggplant costume. I think I saw some kind of fish costume as well. Like there's a lot. Something for whatever you're into, basically, I assume. I haven't tried out that item in the game yet, but I definitely should soon just to see what it's all about. I'm not like necessarily the biggest fan of that kind of a thing, because it seems like there's a lot of costumes, and I probably would have liked them to focus more on like the other clothing rather than the costumes, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's just something that I've been thinking, but do let me know if that's something you've been wanting or something that you want to play around with. And yeah, the only backstory I really had for this house is that it's for a single parent with a child, and they're in the new romance consultant career. And this is for the most part a rabbit hole career, like you just say bye to your sim and they're gone and they come back later. But you do have the option to work from home as well. And if it's anything similar to the previous careers that have these options, then you get tasks to do for that day. I haven't played too much with this career either yet, so I'm not too sure what these tasks could be, but definitely something related to the career, of course, and being like a romance consultant. And once you get to a certain level in that career, you get the choice to either go into the matchmaker branch or the romance therapist branch. So I was definitely envisioning this parent doing that as work. I'm not too sure like what kind of a branch they would go into. Maybe they're still like early in the career or something. And also speaking about like the therapist branch, there is this Cupid Corners app that you get that is for dating. So you can access it from your phone. And also in that like category on your phone, it says that you can go to counseling as well. So that kind of goes hand in hand with this career. And also like a bit of a side note again, I'm very excited about adding the Lovestruck features into the save file I'm currently working on as well. So there will definitely be at least one romance consultant in that one. So the save file I'm focusing on at the moment is one where I use majority of the packs, but no kits. So no build or buy ones or any cast kits. I have done a few speed builds already and they're up on my channel, so if you're interested in that, definitely go check them out after this video. I talk about the storylines like for the households the builds are for, and I also show a few like pictures of the makeovers of The Sims 2. I have, for example, made the Goth family a new house, which is probably one of my all-time favorite builds I've done. It's just so different from what I usually do and outside of my comfort zone, but I think it ended up very pretty actually. So of course they had to have their dark gothic house. I've also done a mission style or Mediterranean home for Dina Caliente and her husband because yes, for my save file I'm coming up with new storylines and I'm giving everyone makeovers. Some of the Sims might be a bit different in terms of personality if I've changed up their traits or careers. Well, for most of the Sims, like townies, I have changed out their careers to something else. Because believe it or not, a lot of the townies are actually unemployed as well. So maybe instead of replacing their career, I'm just giving them a job, basically. There's a few other builds as well. I did a home for Bob Pancakes because Eliza and him are no longer together. They went through a divorce, which means Eliza also has a new home and storyline. I just recently uploaded that house for Eliza, and yeah, I'm currently working on putting everything together. I did have a little break from working on it because sometimes you just need breaks, you know, to recharge your creativity and motivation. And also just get like a new vision on things, if that makes sense, like, which means that I might have had time to like think over things, like I'm not happy with this or that, and then I'll change it up. So I've been in a bit of like that kind of a headspace too. And hopefully I'll be able to put up the first iteration of the save file either at the end of this year or next year maybe. And I'm currently focusing on doing the base game worlds first, and there's just like a lot of lots, so it's taking a bit of time, but slowly but surely it's coming together. So I'm always a bit intimidated yet excited at the same time when new packs come out because it means I can include it in the save file. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about that project that I wanted to mention as well. And yeah, the third house I'm building on this lot is the one in the back, the green one. For this one, I wanted an older look on the inside because I thought maybe an elder sim or an elderly couple was residing there. So I use a lot of base game items again. And base game has this mix of very like modern items with some questionable swatches and the older looking furniture. So I went more for the latter basically. And the floor plan might be a bit odd. I'm not too sure if you think the same. But at least there's only one bedroom here and they have their very own small backyard. There's not a lot going on there, but I thought it would be cute just to have a backyard. And I do believe I used a new fountain back there too, so you get those nice ambient water sounds while you're just relaxing there, but it still will not cover the sounds of the woohooing going on next door in the blanket though. And speaking of water, there is a new collectible, I guess you can call it, in this pack, and it is the axolotl. I have no idea where you can find them in Ciudad Enamorada, so that's a bit of a surprise. However, I did find a variety of axolotls in the Diva category. I also found a tree stump object, which is like the wild axolotl's home, I do believe. So if you're out exploring in this world, you better keep your eyes open for a suspicious tree stump because maybe you'll be able to find an axolotl. I've never seen one of those in real life. I actually had no idea where you can even find them, but they actually do live in Mexico, which is perfect because this world is inspired by Mexico. And also thinking about that, the Sims team did get help from 3 Simmers to create the builds in Ciudad Enamorada, and they are Rustic Sims, Fredo Sorio, and Shiki. And I'm very glad we're able to see their builds in the game. I'm still not 100% sure who made what yet. We do have 13 lots in this world, including 2 penthouses. There is a gym. I also think there is a bar and a lounge, if I'm not mistaken. There is a park, and other than that, there's just like residential lots. There might also be a vacation lot. And it is a very colorful world, and I can't wait to explore more of it because I haven't really yet. So I am excited to do that. We're also getting closer to the end of the video, so I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Ear Creator Network for providing me with my own affiliate creator code. Using promo code HONEYMAY at checkout when purchasing the Sims 4 packs will directly support me and the content I make at no extra cost. So if you would like to get the new Sims 4 Lovestruck expansion pack or anything else at all, I would really appreciate it if you think of me. So thank you if you do end up using my code HONEYMAY at checkout. And that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a follow for more content in the future. This build will be up on my gallery as soon as I'm able to upload it, along with tray files in the description, so look out for that. If you want to look at any of my other creations though, my ID is Honeymaysims, or you can find me with the hashtag Honeymaysims as well. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today as we built these 3 houses on 1 lot with the new Lovestruck expansion pack, and I can't wait to talk to you all in the next video. Until then, take care, bye!